25. Episode 25, man. Hey, Facebook, what's going on? This is Franz Borkart. We're at the studio at 107.3, Talk 107.3, and we're going to be starting shortly with the Geaux Rouge radio show. Shout out to the Junior League of Baton Rouge for this lovely red hat. It is a lovely red hat, Brian. I had to finagle my way into it since I'm not eligible to join the organization at present.
I don't want to hear about hats today, Franz.
Why not?
Friday night, doing draft coverage for on Facebook Live for 104.5 ESPN on Facebook Live and YouTube. And Moscona pops in on it's a Zoom conference between like five of us.
You're right.
Had a couple guys in studio and then the rest of us on Zoom. Moscona pops in Friday night. There's the Geaux Rouge hat.
It's a great hat.
Go to a crawfish boil Saturday.
Who's wearing it on the crawfish boil?
Your boy Mark.
Dude, I'm sorry.
I mean,
is
there any word I can turn?
Brian Haldane, I think you've gotten to the point where you've almost earned it.
I like the almost there. Okay.
Before this COVID-19, guys, and we're about to start live, but before the COVID-19, I had given Brian 12 labors to perform, like Herculean labors to perform, and if he performed all 12 of them or 20 of them, I don't know, was it 12 or 20? Or
you just kept adding to them.
Yeah.
Every time shit would pop in your head, it would be on my list.
If he performed, like one of them was like, I know it's too soon to talk about this, but one of them was like do a shift at Government Taco, serving tacos. One of them was that. One of them was cleaning Gordy Rush's vehicle, like washing it. Although I suspect that Brian Haldane cleans a good car. Like when you clean you don't clean a good car? Okay. So anyway, Geaux Rouge, we're going to be kicking this off on the radio. Well, it's not going to be on the radio. It airs on Saturdays at noon, but we're going to kick off in a little bit. We've got 4 great guests today. We've got Laura, Miss Louisiana International. We got JP from Our Moms. We got Katie Schellack that's going to talk fitness. She works with Orangetheory, as well as just a great human being. And then we've got Laura Sue from Laura Sue Events that's going to crack up with me for a little bit. If you are watching on Talk 107.3, if you are watching Facebook Live, let me let you in on a secret. The way we can break the algorithm of Facebook is if we share stuff. So all I need you to do is share this, watch and share. That's the secret behind getting views. It's nothing magical or mystery. It's all about sharing. So shout out to Chase for watching. We got 8 people watching right now. Let's see if I can see the other ones. So I don't have master control access to Talk 107.3's Facebook. So I'm watching like the rest. I'm watching me. Yes, sir.
Stand by.
Hello. This is Franz Borkart, host of the Geaux Rouge Show. You are listening to the Geaux Rouge Show, episode number 25. What is 25? When you do anniversaries, 25 has some kind of significance. Is it diamond, gold? What is 25?
25 is silver?
I think it's silver. So 25 episodes in, man. Fantastic. I'm here with Brian Haldane behind Master Controls, and I'm welcoming you guys to another episode. Before we jump in, let's talk about how we make this show. We have some great sponsors that I want to share with you. We have Breck, Louisiana Tech Pork, Sullivan Steakhouse, Gulf Coast Title, the Borkart Law Firm, of course, Smith, Shanklin, and Sosa Law Firm. They do personal injury work, and if you have business interruption claims, you need to talk to them. So this week, we have the show today. Later, Tuesday at 2 o'clock, I'll be interviewing Liz from BRAC about the governor's extension of the stay-at-home order and what does that mean from a business standpoint, although I think we all know what it means from a business standpoint, but we're not going to go off the rails on that today. Today's show, guys, we got some special guests lined up. We've got Laura Obray, who is Miss Louisiana International. I'm sorry you won't get to see her. She's calling in if you're watching on Facebook Live. We got JP from Our Moms, who's going to be talking about what it was like to be on the cooking channel, showcasing some awesome local food. We've got Katie Schellack that's going to talk to us in segment 2 about health and staying healthy during what's going on. And then last but not least, we are going to cut up with Laura Sue to end from Laura Sue Events. Laura, actually, for those who don't know, Laura helps me with a lot of the food events and Geaux Rouge projects that I work on. If you attended the Wingamania event, she was instrumental this year making that happen. So we're going to welcome her on to kind of catch up with her. So without further ado, by the way, Brian, you doing okay? Life's good?
Bro, I'm golden.
Dude, Brian, once again, you've been doing heavy lifting, covering the COVID-19 stuff on Talk 107.3. Man, you don't need a break, but I feel like when this is all done, I see you on a beach somewhere. I feel like maybe drinking like a little adult cocktail.
I don't know, man. Beaches are forbidden, right? Anybody who's on a beach is doing it. I've never understood that, by the way. You could social distance on a beach just like you can on a hiking trail.
If I'm on a beach and I don't have a shirt on, you better believe I'm social distancing. So that being said, we're going to go from beauty to the beast, or the beast to the beauty. So our first guest is Laura. Laura, can you hear me?
Hey there, I can hear you.
So Laura, do me a favor. How do you pronounce that last name?
It's OBA.
Oh, that's a nice.
As if it's just 3 letters, OBA.
OBA. So Laura OBA is Miss Louisiana International. Welcome to the Geaux Rouge Show.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be on. I love what you're doing.
So
what have you been doing?
I love the fact that you are going to be representing our state, presumably in July, to compete for the title of Miss International.
Yes, and it's confusing because it's unusual. I'm actually in the married division. So I am actually Mrs. Louisiana, and I'll be vying for the title of Mrs. International. We do have a Miss division as well, but I can't leave my husband out.
So fair point. So I'll call you Mrs. Louisiana International.
Absolutely. Yeah,
So
I know it's unusual.
So tell me a little bit about this pageant. What is it? What's the story behind it, and why are you participating in it?
Yeah, absolutely. It is a really neat pageant. It is platform-based, so every contestant is required to have a platform, and that is, it could be an organization, it could be a cause, something that they stand upon and something that they support and they bring awareness to during their year. It is pretty much an opportunity to do something a little bigger than yourself and go after something with the motivation and the support of a larger organization, which would be the International Pageant System. So we have, in July, we'll be having our full-out pageant. It's a week-long experience, and there are 3 judging criteria. So we're judged 50% on interview, which includes our platform, and then 25% is fitness wear, and 25% is evening gown.
Well,
and with that title, you can go internationally. We have international contestants. We have contestants who represent the state, each individual state. So it's a great opportunity and very family-oriented as well.
So let's talk about your platform. Your platform is spreading hope beyond grief, and it's something that hits very close to home for you, correct?
That's right, yes.
So tell us a little bit about that platform.
Absolutely. Okay, so my only sister, she passed away in 2015. She had brain cancer, and it was a 10-year journey for her. And she was, miraculously healed the first 2 rounds, and then this 3rd round, as of course I was expecting more good news, but we didn't get it, and so she ended up passing away, and for me, it was the first time I'd ever experienced such a loss. She was, like I said, my only sister, and so I began this journey through grief, and it was this journey that I thought, oh my gosh, what am I supposed to feel? How am I supposed to act? And I was so lost, and I was so confused, and I searched, and I just never was able to find a resource that really connected with me, that was really helpful to me in particular. And so as I slowly rebuilt my perspective on life and began to heal from her loss, I realized that for me, the most helpful form of healing was connection. It was whenever I connected with someone else who was also grieving.
Sharing the experience.
Absolutely, yes. And so whenever I decided to go ahead and bite the bullet and follow this, I had a 3-year longing to go ahead and compete for Mrs. International. And finally, when I decided, okay, it's time to do it, I said, what in the world am I so passionate about? What is me? And it's grief, and it's the healing from that and the hope that you can find. And so I connected with Experience Camp, and I'm an ambassador for them, and it is an amazing organization. They hold free summer camps for grieving children, children ages 4th grade up to 12th grade. It's a place where these kids who have lost a parent, a sibling, or a primary caregiver, it's a place where they can go to, one, have fun and just be a kid. It's camp. It's real camp. And then they can also go to this place where everyone there knows how they feel. Everyone there has been through a similar experience. And so I want to be the light in Louisiana to let all of our precious grieving children know that there is a place they can go where they can connect with others and where they can really just hold hands with the people who know what they're feeling, what they're going through. And I don't want anyone else to be stuck in the place where I was, but they couldn't find the right thing to help them through their grief.
Well, Experience Camp is very blessed and fortunate to have you as an ambassador, Laura. And, you know, it's ironic that that's your platform because of what we're all collectively dealing with: trauma, grief, anger, anxiety,
Absolutely.
fear. So, you know, I did a show with some mental health experts last week, and what we all collectively came to was, you know, sharing experiences, being social creatures. It's how we get through stuff. And so I like that platform. It ironically is very apropos right now. So look, we got a little bit of time left. I want to talk about beauty pageants because beauty pageants sometimes have a stigma that it's, you know, talking to you, you would probably say, look, it uplifts, it empowers women, but some folks think that it objectifies women. Talk a little bit about that distinction.
Yes, and you know, it's funny. Like I said, I wanted to do this for 3 years, and for 3 years, I kind of wouldn't let myself go there. And the reason being, just what you said, there is such a stigma out there about, you know, is it vanity? Is it you know, showing women in this sexual light? And for me, I struggled with that because I thought, well, why do I want to do this so bad? And the more I researched and the more I learned about other women who have had pageant titles, I've realized, man, these women are doing big things. So I would encourage people, you know, if you're not really sure about the pageant industry, take a look at the winners. Take a look at Miss USA, Miss America, Miss International, Mrs. International. Take a look at the women who are winning these big titles, because when you look at them and you'll hear from them, they're motivated. These women are ready to go and accomplish something. And like, it's a year of service, and of course there is the beauty element into it, but and you do have people who, of course, compete in pageantry where their motivations, of course, could be different, but I think it's a way to celebrate who we are as women. And I learned something that really blessed me. I learned that beauty always stems from two things, and this is in philosophy and biblically. It stems from goodness and truth.
I like it. Like it. So Laura, let me ask you this. We've got about 30 seconds left with you. If they want to get more information about the Mrs. Louisiana International, or for that matter, the international competition that's coming out, where would they go to get more information about you and the competition?
Okay, they can go to mrsinternational.com. There's also our Facebook page. You can look me up. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Laura Obrier or Mrs. Louisiana International 2020. And also, I want to let you know about Experience Camp. Their website is experience.camp.
Shoot me an email about them, and I'll put them on the Geaux Rouge page. Laura, thank you so much for joining us. Best of luck representing Louisiana in this international competition. God bless you, and stay safe, okay?
Thank you so much. You too.
All right, bye-bye. Mrs. International, man, that's a great competition. I'm glad she's representing. And how about that camp for grieving kids, man? That's a great thing. Well, changing gears a little bit, fellas and guys and gals. Was it Cool Cats and Kittens? We've got JP and Trent from our moms. Hey guys, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, Franz? How you doing, man?
So I didn't realize initially that Trent was going to join us. It's kind of like having a double pizza burger. Trent's like that second.
Right, man.
So
got his vote this morning.
So for those who don't know, Trent and JP run a excellent local burger spot called, well, I say burger spot, it's a restaurant called Our Mom's Restaurant. And they recently were featured on the Cooking Channel. Now, full disclosure, the show was about the Hammond restaurant, but we love you guys so much that we're going to just pretend like it was in Baton Rouge.
We appreciate that.
So I guess that's my first question was, I was sitting on the couch watching this thing. What was it that drew the Cooking Channel show, and which show was it?
It was, the name of the show was Food Paradise, and originally it was on the Travel Channel. So the Travel Channel actually reached out to us, and, so the whole story started, we didn't really believe that was going to happen,
Right.
Triple D had reached out probably 6 months before Travel Channel did. And, we were emailing back and forth, talking, phone calls and this and that, but they just ended up not coming.
Right.
So, it was kind of disappointing. It was cool and all to be, in that process. But
who doesn't want to be in Flavortown, man? Who doesn't want to be in Flavortown?
I wanted to be out of bounds, dude, but, it just didn't work out this time. So, but then when Travel Channel reached out, we were like, we went through the whole process, and we were like, we didn't want to get our hopes up, and up until the day of the actual shooting, I actually didn't think it was still going to happen. We showed up ready for everything. I was like, there's no way they're showing up, man. Just trying to keep our expectations low.
Right.
But they actually showed up, and they brought like the biggest production I've ever seen. Not that I've seen a lot of productions, but they brought in so many different cameras and all these different gear, and we shut down the restaurant for like basically a full day, where the beginning of the half was in the kitchen doing food shots, and then Trent and I did some interviews upstairs after that. And then around 5, I think, they let in customers to do testimonials and stuff. So that's what you kind of saw in the episode last night. Yeah,
those customers seem like real customers. I didn't think they were actors or anything.
Yeah, no, they're real customers and stuff, yeah.
What was it about the Hammond restaurant instead of, say, the Baton Rouge one? That was one of the questions my wife and I had when we were watching the show.
So that was because at first when they called, we were like, well, we don't. Where do you want to do it? We were open to either, and they liked the. Have you been to the Hammond location?
I have not yet been to the Hammond one, but it looks spectacular on the TV show.
The Hammond location, we were just when we were setting this thing up, we were remodeling that building. So we had bought an old historical building and kind of had redone it, and it's in downtown Hammond. So I think they liked that
historic feel to it.
The historic feel to it, and that kind of look of things. So that's where they were like, well, Hammond, where we'd like to do it. We're like, that's fine with me.
So I want to change gears. Man, you guys featured 2 phenomenal sandwiches. Let's talk about them. Oh my God, that pizza burger. So it's a double layered burger that has essentially crispy pepperoni. Dude, I should let you guys talk about this. I mean, I'm watching it. And I'm just like, oh my God, it looks so good.
I'm going to take the burger part because that's my favorite, man.
Yeah.
So the burger that we put together, it's got our homemade marinara on it. It's got you can have one patty if you want. You can make it a double decker and add a patty if you want. And then we have some crispy pepperoni on top. Where this was a little cringeworthy whenever I was hearing myself saying on the actual episode, but you're not really heating it up. You're frying it on that flat top to get it real crispy.
Right.
And then we use fresh mozzarella on top, close it all in with the sourdough bun. So that's what that.
Dude,
I'm hungry just thinking about it right now.
That
man.
burger. My wife literally was like, "When are we doing our moms this week?"
Yeah.
So
Well, good, it worked.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So from there, you guys transition, and so the listeners know this show is kind of like a destination show where it's different, unique meals from different restaurants around the country, right? And
Yeah.
so the second sandwich, Trent, tell me about the second sandwich that you guys showcased.
So that's our rockin' roast beef, where we cook our roast beef every day, about 6 hours. So it's not, typically, roast beef, especially because we're really known for our burgers. So a lot of people are like, oh, is it sliced deli? We're like, no, it's really like, we take a round roast, we cut it up, season the whole thing, cook it for about 6 hours a day. And we've always got a batch basically in the oven. And we were getting so many good reviews about our roast beef. And then we're like, man, let's try to do something different with that, but still be able to use it. So we came up with this candied jalapeno cream cheese spread.
Oh, yes.
So what we do is we take some jalapenos, we candy them, and then we mix them in with some seasonings and also cream cheese to kind of get that sweet, but at the same time kind of savory kind of taste.
What's
and
ironic?
It really goes great together.
What's ironic about that is on watching the show, that was kind of a subtle, like, oh, by the way, jalapeno cream cheese. And that was the thing I was most interested in. I was like, I got to get that recipe. So the sandwich looked fantastic. It's the right kind of po' boy, right? It's that one that falls apart, but is so delicious looking. And look, guys.
Absolutely.
And look, I'm going to go here. Your marketing folks reached out to me, but you guys have a place that's near and dear to my heart because one, I went to high school with JP. Two, he was in fact in some of my classes, and two, I have often said about our moms that whenever there are certain restaurants in our community that whenever there's a call to arms to do a charity or community project, our mom's restaurant is one of the ones that steps up without hesitation. I mean, it's generally a text message between me and you guys. Hey, can you do X, Y, and Z? And you guys are like, we're on it. We're in. And that to me, it makes me so happy that you guys as a restaurant that is community oriented is getting staged on a national platform like the Cooking Channel. Now look, do I want you guys to be on diners, dives, and drive-ins? Sure. I want that trip to Flavortown. I want it.
I'm gonna take you with me.
That's right.
Yeah. So I'm happy that you guys encountered this. What's on the horizon for you guys? I mean, obviously we're in a COVID-19 crisis, but you guys are staying busy. You're moving food. You certainly do delivery and takeout, right?
Yes, we sure do. We do delivery, takeout. We do the curbside thing. We kind of it was moving so quickly at the beginning of things of like what was going to happen for restaurants, what we're going to do. So that's where JP and I kind of sat down and we're like, all right, listen, we basically got to set this thing out in phases of like, because we were getting so many questions. Staff, Baton Rouge, Hammond, they were always like, what's the deal? What's the deal? So we kind of got together and we're like, okay, let's set this thing out in phases of if this curveball's thrown, what are we going to do?
Right.
And so we kind of set those guidelines of things. And originally we were about to go into the phase of, we were going to say, okay, because it was still dining at that time. We were like, well, we're going to go all paper products. So we were going to do utensils, plates, and all that kind of stuff. And now we're starting to set up that whole thing for when we go back into things is how we're going to do it. I know they're talking about 25% and all, but we've had to change a lot of our systems of things. Now we have a terminal that basically goes outside with the customer so that no customers are coming inside.
Right.
Masks, gloves, obviously the sanitation part is super, super important.
So one of the advantages of being a good restaurant is that people are going to crave what you're doing. Even if numbers are down right now, people are going to want to have their Our Moms fix. I love your restaurant addition to your community-oriented nature. I love your restaurant because JP's on a keto diet like I am. And so there's options for me. Man, but that burger, oh my God. That pizza burger, and candidly, Haldane and I were talking before you guys came on. We're like, if you told me about the pizza burger, I might have one knee-jerk reaction. But then when I saw the pizza burger, I started playing the game of, man, how would that look if I had some Italian sausage in the burger? How would that look if I'd put some different ingredients when I got it home? So I'm going to be doing some lab work. I mean, my burger won't be as good as your burger, but I'll be doing some lab work. So okay, let's change gears a little bit. We got about a minute left. Let's change gears a little bit. In giving back to the community, what are you guys trying to do? Whether it's helping first responders or whomever, what are you guys trying to do right now to stay in tune with your mission of being community oriented?
So that was a big thing of ours during this whole thing, because our community was, I mean, they were being great to us. Like you hit it on the head earlier. It's like, people have been coming in, to get takeout and all that kind of stuff, and we couldn't think how much support there's been. Tipping the wait staff and all that, it's been amazing.
Right.
So we were kind of sitting back one day and we're like, you know what? We're pretty lucky with this whole thing. It could be so much worse.
Right.
So we kind of in Hammond and Baton Rouge. So we did North Oaks, we did the General, we did the Lake, and we basically just called up to the ER departments of things and the first responders parts. We also did a fire station, and we basically just said, listen, how many staff members do you have that are working on this shift or whatever? And I think the Lake, we did 70 different meals. The General was around 70. And then we did a fire department in Baton Rouge also. Hammond, we did the whole sheriff's department, which was like 100 and something.
Wow.
So we were just like, let's just, we're not the only people, that were going through this. There was people out there that were busting it on their end.
Sure.
And it was,
it
felt good to do. It really did.
We've run out of time. So congrats on the enormity of your success, guys. Keep it up. And I'm looking forward to you on Triple D, baby.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having
JP and
us on.
Trent from our moms. Y'all have a good one. We're going to take a break. We're going to take a break, guys, and come back with segment number 2. Don't go anywhere. Facebook Live. Facebook, I owe Facebook an apology. I get so excited sometimes when we're talking to people, Brian, that I lose track of time, and I only have so much time with each guest, guys. So it's hard. So look, if you're in Facebook world right now, we've got Katie Schellack joining us. Katie's going to talk a little bit about taking control of your fitness during this stay-at-home order. God, I need to talk to her about that. And then we're going to talk to Laura Sue. Laura, Laura is one of my go-to individuals for Geaux Rouge stuff, Brian. She's been a guest on your stuff before too, if I'm not mistaken. So stay tuned, guys. We're going to start in a couple of seconds.
Hold. We're gonna he's gonna start the segment off and then come to you about a minute and a half. Okay. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Stand by.
All right. Segment number 2 of episode 25 of the Geaux Rouge radio show. You're listening to host Franz Borchardt. We are streaming from Talk 107.3 at the Guarantee Media Broadcasting Facility. I don't know if it's called facility or not, but it sounds cool. And we are going to be talking.
I'd like to call it the campus. It's only one building, so we can't. But
Okay.
I always like when ESPN's on the campus. Or Dave Ramsey's got his
I
campus.
like it. I like
want
it.
a campus.
So Talk 107.3, for those who don't know, that's the sweet sounds of Brian Haldane. In addition to being a talented radio host himself, he helps me produce the Geaux Rouge show. Brian, how's it going? You doing okay?
Bro, couldn't be better, man.
All right.
Rocking and rolling.
So in this second segment, we've got Katie Schellack and Laura Sue. Before we jump to Katie, let's thank our sponsors. We've got the Smith Shanklin Sosa Law Firm, great personal injury firm, also great for business interruption claims. We've got Breck, Louisiana Tech Park, Sullivan Steakhouse, Gulf Coast Title, and last but not least, your favorite criminal defense firm, Borghardt Law Firm. That would be my firm. That's where I work. That's where I play. It's been interesting not having court lately, so I'm ready. Like everybody, I'm ready for this shutdown to be over so I can get back to business as usual. But I'm trying to be positive about it, trying to spend as much time with my family as I can, trying to do Geaux Rouge stuff. So, all right, let's talk to Katie Schellack. Katie, you there?
Yes, I'm here. How are you this morning?
Katie, thank you so much for giving us some time. So, Katie, for those who don't know, Katie's extremely busy. She's a board member for Kids Orchestra. She dances for Big Buddy occasionally. She's a spokesperson for American Heart Association. I know Katie Schellack from a little organization called LaFasa. What does LaFasa stand for, Katie?
That's right. LaFasa stands for Louisiana Foundation Against Sexual Assault. And congratulations, National Denim Day is going to be on Thursday. So wear your denim, Franz.
I will be wearing a full denim tuxedo, a Canadian tuxedo, if you will.
Please do.
So
I want pictures of that.
When you're not doing all that stuff for the community, you're a writer and fitness coach for Orangetheory Fitness. And I have noticed the reason you're talking to me, besides the fact that you're just an amazingly good person, Katie.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm not sure if my kids agree with that during quarantine, but we'll take it.
So I have a little 4-year-old, so I'm going to give you as much breathing room as you can have on that. So the reason you're talking to us is because one of the things you have been doing is you've been staying positively focused on fitness during this whole COVID-19 crisis. And I wanted to get you on the air to talk a little bit about your thoughts on how we can stay positive and healthy during this crisis. So what are your thoughts?
Yes, I think that's a great question. How do I take care of myself during quarantine? A lot of people, when we think of fitness, we just think of physical fitness, right? But we also know that fitness is both mental, it's emotional. There's also spiritual wellness involved with those. And all three of those overlap. And for me, physical fitness comes easily. When I grew up, my dad, started off with the idea. He taught me that you should have a lifelong relationship with exercise. And he instilled that in me, and I've been exercising ever since. There's so many reasons why we want to exercise. There's so much psychology behind it. Endorphins get released in your brain. We're increasing that blood flow to our bodies. So we're happier, we're healthier. And the more we exercise, the more we get those endorphins released, the happier we are. And it seems that we have more energy and we have better sleep. And Franz, I could just go on and on about the reasons why we should exercise.
I was talking to a team of mental health professionals last week, and they were emphasizing how important it is to both get exercise for your mental well-being, but also to get sleep. And one of the biggest concerns they have right now is that people are not sleeping. And if you are sleeping, you certainly may be having some weird dreams. That's one of the phenomenons that we're noticing. So
yes.
I want to talk a little bit about, okay, you're at home. You don't have a gym at home. Most of us don't have gyms at home. Some of us may have like a whatever.
Right.
So you're at home and you don't have a gym. That shouldn't stop you, correct?
No, that should never stop you. If anything, because you don't have a gym, that means that you have a golden opportunity to see other opportunities or other modes of exercise. The first thing I tell people, if they want to go to, this is in the studio or beyond, check out YouTube.
Okay.
You'll quickly find yourself in a rabbit hole of exercise videos. For instance, if you just look on YouTube and you just search exercise,
right?
Franz, 1.5 billion videos are going to come back to you. Right? That's a lot. There are 947 million videos on just yoga alone. Well, let's say, even that's not your thing. Let's say you're a little weird or a little off the beaten path.
Breakdancing.
Let's say breakdancing. Yeah, breakdancing, you're saying 8.2 million videos on breakdancing. So you don't have enough time in your life to watch all of these videos. So I go on YouTube, see what's out there, and try a whole bunch of different things. Maybe you're new to exercise. Maybe you don't know what you like, and you need to figure that out. YouTube is a great way to do that. Of course, walking around your neighborhood, if that's possible. I lead group fitness classes through Orangetheory. I've also done at-home workouts with the kids. And great thing about at-home workouts is with those, you need very little equipment. And you just need a safe place to be able to move around, little music to kind of help out that mental state as well, to get that energy up and start breathing deep. And for some people, however, who just don't like YouTube or just don't think that normal exercise is their thing, I also would throw this out there. Cleaning is exercise. And some people are like, hallelujah.
I want you to
like,
say,
oh my gosh.
I want you to say that again so that everybody can hear it.
Cleaning is exercise. I don't know how Shannon feels about that.
So we have okay, so funny you raised that. We have a 4-year-old, which means that we are constantly cleaning. It's like the active futility of picking up is as soon as you pick something up, he's just going to throw it back on the ground.
I know.
But the cute thing about Fisher, if I can go here, if I can talk about my own
Please.
son.
Yes.
He is into kids yoga. The little kid at 4 knows what Namaste means. And like he and his cousin Ivy do yoga. And like there's YouTube kids yoga. They used to do yoga at White Star. So yes, cleaning is exercise.
Well, you are a fabulous parent for introducing what my dad did to me, letting your child know that exercise is a lifelong relationship. So start off young.
All right. So part of your daily life in normal Katie Schellack world is Orangetheory Fitness, right?
Absolutely.
Talk to me a little. Yeah, talk to me a little bit about. Okay, let's say you're me, and you probably need help, right? And right now, help may be in the form of watching some videos and doing some group fitness via videos. I know we didn't talk about this in advance, but I kind of want to go here. Planning what's going to happen when we can go back to the gym. Planning what's going to happen when we can go to places and be social again. What are your tips on that? Because at some point, people are going to go stir crazy to the point of they're going to need to do that, or they're going to be able to do that. And so I want to pick your brain a little bit about that. We got a few minutes left.
Yeah, so there's two things. From a studio perspective, Orangetheory is going to be reopening. We are excited to have those members back. Our members are wildly excited. Just like you say, they're getting stir crazy. They're wanting to come back. Now, we already have procedures in place. We already have handbooks in place on how to open successfully with mentions from the CDC about how to do that and be socially distant. I think Orangetheory is going to be taking a phased-in approach. And ultimately, Franz, that's going to be up to you and how you feel, because it is your personal choice.
Right. What
you feel comfortable with doing, what you don't feel comfortable with doing. Does that answer your question?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And look, I'm not bragging here. I have a weight loss
brag.
I have a weight loss competition with Brian Haldane, which I have not been eating my feelings, and poor Brian is working like 20-hour days here. So yeah. I've lost a considerable amount of weight in all this, but
congratulations.
Thank you. But to turn the corner, I got to start exercising, and that's been my problem from day one. Is I'm that unfortunate soul that says, man, I don't have time to do that, which I feel so much better when I do. So we got about a minute left. Okay, Katie, closing thoughts, and then also where can these people find you if they want to get more information on your writing or you as a trainer? The floor is yours, madam.
Mm-hmm. So you can go to my blog. It's theshilling.net. You can also reach out to us through the Orangetheory Fitness Town Center.
Awesome.
And then for people like you who are like, oh, I need to do this, here's what I'm going to say. Sometimes exercise is a duty. Sometimes exercise is a delight. And the more you move forward in feeling like it's a duty, the more and more it will become a delight. Awesome.
I like it. So Katie Schellack, a future host of her own podcast and radio show. I'm working on her, guys. I'm trying to convince her to do this. Thank you so much for giving us some of your time, and we certainly will have you back on the show to talk health. I am looking forward to working with you with the LaFasa and some of our projects we're going to have together. You're doing
I'm interested in excited to watch you walk that runway.
Let me tell you, thank you so much for everything you're doing with the community, Katie, and we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Thanks.
All right. So guys, now we've got one. This is probably the guest I'm most excited about today, Brian. And it's the guest I'm most excited about today is because I've been mentoring Laura for quite some time. And now she's like all grown up and she has this successful event planning organization. She works for New Schools for Baton Rouge. She's kind of a big deal now. And before, I knew her when she was just simple little Laura. So our next guest, guys, is Laura Sue. Laura.
Hey, Fun.
How are you doing, girl?
I'm doing well. How are you?
So I am excited to answer your question. I'm excited to be having you on the radio because normally when I'm on the radio with you, Laura, we are promoting one of the many charitable events that you and I work on together or that you're working on. So it's good to just have a day where we can talk about you. Okay? Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
So tell the folks out there, I've already spoiled it that you work for New Schools for Baton Rouge and you run a phenomenal event organization called, Laura Sue Events and Planning. So tell the folks out there which community organizations you're involved with.
Absolutely. First and foremost, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
I'm definitely involved with the Junior League of Baton Rouge. Shout out to my Junior League family. And then definitely a board member for Maison des Amis, and you are in a loan project.
So you can't see right now. I'm wearing a Junior League Baton Rouge hat. I've gotten one step closer to joining Junior League as the first male member, but don't tell them I said that. So, all right. So I love a good old fashioned Laura Sue event, but candidly, none of us are having big events right now. Brian Haldane and I were talking. Brian DJ'd one of our events, the Wingomania event. Everybody's hit the pause button on events, so we're all changing gears right now, and I'm very excited about the way you've changed gears, Laura. And I want to talk a little bit. I know you don't see the blog that you're doing as exciting, but I'm loving that you are praising other entities, giving good, valuable information, and bringing people together from what you're doing on your blog. Tell the folks out there a little bit about what you're doing on your blog.
Yeah, so since the event industry right now is very uncertain, we do not know if we're going to have events in the fall or we're going to start having events in 2021. One of the things that I started thinking about is why don't we start using our social media platforms, using our writing, using our Instagram stories, using our Facebook, just to give a shout out to small businesses out there that are doing great things. For example, we recently talked about how to make Baton Rouge sweet. So right. I highlighted 10 different bakers in town that are doing a lot of things in their Instagram, and they're selling a lot of their products, which are phenomenal, like Batch Baking Company, and just highlighting them and showing the world out there that small businesses are adapting and doing
right.
different to
including you.
Absolutely.
So Laura and I, for those who don't know, and I'm going to spoil this part, I'm going to give a teaser, Laura. Laura and I are doing a collaboration blog post that's going to be, I guess, published before Mother's Day, all about how not to screw up Mother's Day by knowing about all the great local places in Baton Rouge to get a good old-fashioned Mother's Day gift. And I'm hoping your husband, Kenny, is listening because you guys share a Corky. You have a little baby, Corky.
Yeah.
So, it's a great idea. I'm going to give Laura full credit for it. And I'm going to give her credit in the sense that the idea was initially just to have a list, but Laura pointed out, man, we don't need just a list. We need to know the deals, right? The sweet deals, the discounts, the Mother's Day promos. So Laura and I are collaborating, and she's doing like 95% of the lifting. I do like 5% of the lifting. I'll probably take credit for it more than anything else. But that's how I do, Laura. So that's going to be something we publish for Mother's Day. And look, it's very, I was talking to somebody before we went on the radio today about, man, Mother's Day is right around the corner. What do we do? And, it's not like you can take that special mother to dinner right now. It's not like you can just go out and do something. But it's so important to do. I think it's so important to honor the moms out there that I'm excited about the fact that we're able to do this collaboration where we have this list of people, list of businesses, and then have what they are doing and how you can give back to your mom. And then look, it's all local, right? It's all local businesses. It was interesting to me, Laura, because the way this started was I made a post on the Geaux Rouge Facebook page about, hey, where's a good place locally to essentially get a Mother's Day gift? And people just started flooding the post with different places. And it wasn't like shameless advertising, Laura. It was more just like, hey, you need to go to Sweet Baton Rouge, or hey, you need to go to this jewelry place, or hey, you need to go do this. Get a blowout gift certificate for when this stuff lifts up. So, okay.
Right, and people are getting very creative with it.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
for example, give it a shout out with Rebel Graphics. They're actually doing $20 yard signs that says Happy Mother's Day. So I think that everybody is just adapting to the situation and just making the best out of it.
So how would you feel as a mother to a beautiful puppy? Brian, how would your wife feel if you got her a whole bunch of Rebel Graphics yard signs for Mother's Day that basically said some kind of nice special message from you and the kids? Would that be something that your wife would eat up?
It would have to be part of an overall thing, but she'd absolutely love it, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, okay, let's talk a little bit about adaptation and evolution. So Laura and I, normally this time of year, we would be planning the Cap City Mac and Cheese event, right? And the mac and cheese event is brought to the community through a organization called Geaux Rouge Productions that's co-owned by myself and Nick Huff. And Laura does a lot of the heavy lifting on it. And that event is a charitable event that raises money for the Baton Rouge General. So obviously, and by the way, Mac and Cheese Fest is one of our best events we put on, right? You know, I don't know which one I like better, the Mac and Cheese event or the Wing event, but they're both awesome. But the Mac and Cheese one, people love their Mac and Cheese Fest, right? So Laura and I are having to adapt and having conversations about, well, you know, how can we have a Mac and Cheese Festival for the Baton Rouge General to help first responders, to help the foundation when you can't have a festival right now? You know, do you wait? Do you adapt the event to where maybe you do a citywide event where you encourage restaurants to make their own mac and cheese dishes and donate a certain amount back to community? Do you go to the Baton Rouge General and say, hey, I'll get you a whole bunch of noodles and cheese donated and you guys can make a great culinary dish and sell it, and then 100% of the proceeds go back? You know, it's a lot of questions like that for event people, because you still want to do stuff, right? You still want to have your events. And most organizations, Laura, Laura, you're involved in a lot of organizations. Most organizations right now are just either making the decision to bump their events, to push it down the road, or to just say, hey, we're not going to do it this year. You know, so I like the idea of taking concepts and making them evolve. You know, I just had Katie Schellack on, and we were talking about the Denim Day. That's kind of amazing events. What are you doing to kind of evolve your platform besides just the blog to give back to the community right now?
I think as of now with the events, I think that we also have to think about like providing a lot of valuable information to the community, like doing webinars. Right. But I also think that one of the things that I really like is Varsity Sports. They did last week a 26.2 mile marathon that either you can walk it or run it. And I think that and then you donate like a little gift card or you buy something from a small business. I think that like being creative with what you're doing, especially in your field, it's mind blowing. I love it.
Awesome.
And it gets people more involved and gets the community more hyped up.
So
like,
Laura,
oh my God, I want to do this. Like it's promoting running, it's promoting supporting small business, and also you achieve, I ran 26.2 miles. Right.
Which is, we need to be doing healthy stuff, as Katie told us. So before we let you go, Laura, where's a good place for them to get more information about you, your organization, and your blog?
Absolutely. If you go to laurasueevents.com, you'll be able to find my website with a lot of information that I am providing. And if you go to my Instagram or Facebook, I post the same thing.
Awesome. Laura, thank you so much for spending some time with us. Have a great day and God bless.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Franz.
No
Take
problem.
care.
So speaking of websites, Brian, if you want more information about the Geaux Rouge radio show, you can go to www.geauxrouge.com, go, Geaux, rouge.com. If you want to send us show topic ideas, you can email us at info@geauxrouge.com. Next week, little teaser, next week we're going to be talking to major industries in Baton Rouge, in Louisiana, that are giving back to the community. We're going to have Exxon on, Turner Industries. We're going to have some other great folks. By the way, last thing for you guys before we cut you loose, later this afternoon, Tuesday, 2 p.m., I'm going to be sitting down with Brack to kind of do an update on business and what's going on with everything in the shutdown. So thank you guys for joining us this week on Geaux Rouge. From Franz Borchardt, Brian Haldane, have a great week. Facebook, love you guys. Have a great one. See you next week.